It finally went live. We're live. From the great and wonderful state of Texas. Welcome, everybody. So today, we had a little bit of an issue where the downloads I was getting from YouTube to create the clips were really bad quality. So I'm trying to record and stream at the same time today. If that results in issues, let me know and we'll go from there. It seems like the system's running pretty good. I'm showing pretty low CPU usage. Obviously, most of this is being done on the 3090 with the NVENC. It is what it is. I should have this on, the monitor on. Now, welcome everybody to the Crypto Mining Morning Show. Crypto Morning Mining Show. Crypto Mining Morning Show. Crypto Morning Mining Show. Mining Morning Show. I don't know which word should come first or second, because either way works. But today we are going to be talking about a ton of video game news. Not video game news. Graphics cards news. I don't know why I said video game news. That would be silly. A ton of graphics cards news that has come out over the weekend. We have a lot to catch up on. We have news from Nvidia, news from AMD, news surrounding memory, news surrounding core speeds, news surrounding pricing, news surrounding shortages still, all of that. So there's tons of stuff going on. Then we also have a release from Team Black Miner that we'll be covering. It seems pretty short, released 2 days ago. No other new miner releases right now. And then we are going to be talking about a solo mine block, kind of, that was insane, $500,000. But before we get into all of that today, let's start with the ad, and then we'll be right back. Today's video is brought to you in partnership with GamerSupps. GamerSupps provides a healthy alternative to sugary energy drinks with delicious flavors like Misfits Melon or my favorite Blue Raz. I use the GamerSupps as an alternative to support my active lifestyle outside of content creation. Caffeine-free options are great for late-night gaming after the kids have gone to bed. And my favorite part about GamerSupps is that they accept cryptocurrency. And for a limited time, when you purchase a tub with cryptocurrency, you will receive a Bitcoin shaker. Follow the affiliate link in the description. And don't forget to use code SOAT at checkout. Welcome back. So first things first, we're going to talk about Team Black Miner version 1.40. It's really quick. There's just two little improvements they have listed here. Fix a build issue on AMD rigs and tiny improvement in the CUDA kernel. So there you go. That is the latest from Team Black Miner version 1.40. As far as development for that miner, it seems to be very like frequent small changes all the time. Nothing really big or anything crazy going on there. Now, before we get into all the graphics card news, let's talk about this crazy find by basically somebody that was solo mining on 2miners.com. So if you guys didn't know, you can solo mine through 2miners.com on their Ethereum solo pool. Solo mining is very difficult because essentially you have to compete with the entire rest of the network to find a block. And then if you find a block, there's no guarantee that it will pay more than 2 ETH in general. So it apparently took about 25 days of mining for this particular miner. They have 2.1 gigahash on there, and they are now into life-changing money. As you can see here, what we have essentially is a block that was found within the last 24 hours. You can see here the current hash rate is 2.18 gigahash a second. And they have 6 workers online. You can see Ergo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of totaling out to that average hash rate of 2.17 gigahash a second. And that has resulted in finding a block for 168 ETH. That totals out to $546,000, which is insane. So the reason this happens is like usually really highly traded blocks that end up having a ton of fees within them, which clearly is what was happening here. And the miner found it and then essentially was able to get paid out all those fees that were included in the block. This is not happening as much as it has in the past. If you took a look at the Ethereum solo pool, most of the blocks, the solo blocks are 2, right? 2 ETH. That's kind of what you're looking at. Even if you do recent payouts, you have a couple for 6 ETH, you know, one for 8 ETH here. Here's one for 11. But sometimes when these bots get a little wild, these MEV trading bots, which I'm actually not even sure this is an MEV, an additional MEV block either. I don't know if there's a way we could tell. I don't know. Let me know if you guys know how we can tell if MEV was included in this block. Like on this page, you can see what the MEV was. But once you go to recent payouts here, it's not telling us what the miner extracted value was here. I assume there probably had to have been, right? To a certain extent. So it's pretty insane. That is the biggest block I've seen on solo. I don't know if it's necessarily a record. Now, the record largest block ever was 218 Ethereum. So should you just move your entire farm over to solo mining? Probably not, because it really depends here. Like I kind of tweeted about it in jest, obviously, and quoted and said like, oh, I should just move my whole farm over. Here's the caveat or the problems with that. 1, I have to cover power, right? 2, I have to cover rent. And for most of y'all, I'm assuming that both of those things are true for y'all as well. You need to cover power, you need to cover rent. So if you need to cover those things, you can't necessarily go out and start solo mining with not enough hash to actually be reasonably certain that you would hit a block that is going to cover, well, your rent, etc. So from my perspective, right, I guess you could work it out in a manner where you mine on a pool until you have paid your fees or whatever, and then hop over to solo mining and see what your luck is. If you're a home miner right now, though, and you're reasonably okay on the power costs or whatnot, maybe, right? I think, though, at the same time, just solo mining Flux is kind of the same deal, but you don't have these big, like, lottery pulls, right? This is basically playing the lotto. If you hit it, you know, you become a $500,000 and done. Like, incredible. So once again, as far as how the blocks are possible, because I do see that question again, basically what happens is bidding wars end up happening, which drive up the cost of the transactions and drive up the cost of the transactioning happening first. Usually this is like either in like, not usually with quick purchases, but usually when liquidating. But what it ends up happening is essentially people are trying to get their transaction solved within that block before somebody else solves theirs, or their transaction is complete, to basically usually either buy ETH at lower and then sell it back in the same block for more to somebody else, or vice versa, right? Sell the ETH for more and buy it back for less in the same block. So that's kind of essentially how that functions at the end of the day, as far as like how those blocks end up being so much. But this was by far the biggest one I've seen on solo, so I wanted to share it with you guys. The original shout out that I should give here is going to go to, where is he? Yeah, Crafted Crypto. I don't know if he, but you can follow him on Twitter. And I'll give you guys his Twitter info because he's how I found out about it. And I like to give credit where credit's due as we can, right? All right. Yeah, 300 mega hash won't do a lot on solo, but it may do a lot on like a solo on Flux or something. But then again, you're still playing the lottery over there as well. So that's kind of the deal. That was the largest I've ever seen personally. I don't know if you guys have seen a bigger one. Let me know. But yeah, at the time it was at $558,000. Right now it's showing less. I guess we're experiencing a dump in Ethereum as we speak. Yes, we certainly are. It looks like we are down to $3,238 for Ethereum right now. So it has gone down. Is Cardano really soaring? No. And not soaring. I don't know. Maybe we could say it's soaring. We got that great Monday dip coming in, boys. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Okie doke. So let's go ahead and talk about video cards. I'm excited to share all the video card information that I can with you. We are starting off with bad news, and that's Nvidia asking board partners to halt GeForce RTX 3090 Ti production. And the issues initially this weekend, I didn't have any info on it. It does look like they are citing that it is BIOS and hardware issues. I did make the joke that what's happening? Are they discovering that the memory modules are exploding now so that they've upgraded them to 21 gigabits per second? Anyways, let's get into the article and see what's going on. So this article is coming from Video Cards along with like 5 other articles for today, but Nvidia temporarily halts the production of the GeForce RTX 3090 Ti. Nvidia has requested board partners to pause the production of their RTX 3090 Ti cards. The just announced flagship GPU featuring the full G1A102 GPU. This SKU was originally planned for January 27th release. There was also an embargo set for this week that has just been canceled. So usually if they have that embargo set, if it was going to be lifted or whatever, then at that point you could have like reviewers, etc., start reviewing the cards. That's been canceled. So at this point, I don't think we'll be even seeing necessarily any reviews outside of leaks, but it's possible we get some leaks on the GPU. It should be noted that Nvidia never confirmed the 3090 Ti launch date. The company only mentioned that we will hear more about this new card later this month. Technically speaking, they can make a formal announcement with further details, specs, and pricing, with the release date set for February. This information was missing during CES 2022 preview. The RTX 3090 Ti is the upcoming flagship GPU with 10,752 CUDA cores, 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory clocked at 21 gigabits per second, with a 450 watt TDP powered through a 16-pin power connector. This model has been on a roadmap for weeks now, but it wasn't until early January before we saw evidence of Nvidia's grand plans for the RTX 30 enthusiast segment. Of course, we have reached out to both of our sources and have already confirmed that this is indeed true. According to them, there are issues with both the BIOS and hardware. The details are not yet known, so it is unclear if board partners will be required to revise the boards that were already made or if they need to wait for a solution from Nvidia. In any case, we will provide an update on the situation when we learn more. This doesn't bode well for obviously just Nvidia in general, especially, or just GPU consumers as well in general, because at this point, you know, we have a shortage. And so when you halt production on a card like this due to basically poor design, from what I can tell, either BIOS or hardware, and you've wasted all that silicon on it, these could have been 3090s, right? You could have been producing some more 3090s, getting that price down. And this is going to be important because what I'm going to show you guys next is going to be the leaked price list for the 3090 Ti. And I don't think that, and once you see this price list, I think you'll agree with me. I don't think that releasing a top tier card at this price when you already have shortage issues on the card right below it is wise, and especially true if you have hardware and BIOS issues with this new line, because all of those full fat GA102 chips that they're putting into the 3090 Ti could have easily been put into the 3090. And if we look at the pricing here for this, what you're going to see is custom Nvidia RTX 3090 Ti cards listed for at least $3,654. The card has already been listed by distributors and some retailers. So far, we only have pricing for the MSI RTX 3090 Ti. Cards from 2 Swiss retailers and a single German-speaking distributor. The pricing is actually much higher than we expected, going for $3,654 to $4,497 US dollars after the conversion. Do note, however, that those could naturally be early placeholding prices. So you have the MSI listing at $3,654. You have the one above it, the Supreme X, at $4,024. The one above that, I guess, it's kind of hard to see, $4,497. And then the Gaming Trio is actually lower, $3,571, because the Gaming Trios usually are a little bit less. So there you go. At this point, when we're talking about like launch prices, for mining, like I don't even, at least unless you have like an Nvidia board partnership or something, or you're a retailer and you're getting them, you know, directly from Nvidia, I don't see these as being, you know, worth it at all. You're talking about a 30% price increase. I don't think you're going to get a 30% increase in actual mining profitability, right? So these prices are ridiculous. And then to top it off, they're having shortage issues, and it's kind of like, okay, well, why didn't you guys just focus on getting more 3090s out and fixing the problems that the 3090s already have? Because the 3090s already have a plethora of problems, right? Specifically within the power, both the power delivery and the memory module, and the memory modules overheating. So it's insane, and that's kind of like where we're at. So it is what it is. Now let's go ahead and talk about, actually, I do want to address something that's kind of interesting. So the setup, I'll talk to you about this. It's an interesting topic when you talk about the YouTubers use ad revenue to buy GPUs and tell everybody how much they make. So there's a few things here that are going on, so that I want to address, because obviously, and there's a term that would be like opportunistic. Now, I've been doing this off and on for 10 years, not always cryptocurrency. I've been doing it off and on since 2016 as well. That by no means means that I deserve it or anything like that. Well, I'm just giving you an idea of how long it takes to build it up. Then let me give you an idea of revenue. Revenue on YouTube right now for the last month was $4,800. Not complaining. That's cool. I have a full family that I got to pay for. The mining farm primarily takes care of that, but YouTube is an additional ad benefit revenue. The reason I have a YouTube is to build additional recurring revenue. It is a strategy. It's how you get better at things in life. I encourage you to find something. It can be anything you're passionate about on YouTube, if you want to do a YouTube channel, and start working on it now. And maybe in 10 years, you'll make some sort of revenue that is relevant, or find something else that builds revenue, but build multiple revenue streams. I'm going to have mining. I'm going to have all the crypto stuff, stocks. I'm going to have the YouTube. That's how this is built up. This is how everything is built up in life, though. Okay, so you need to be aware of that as well, because the perception of just putting any kind of negative perception on somebody for doing things that may in turn get them money, but isn't going to help you out. So I want to encourage you all to help yourselves out. Help yourselves out, boys. Figure out how to generate revenue for yourself, okay? And I always encourage people to start YouTube channels as well. I always support other YouTube content creators where it gets dangerous. And I've put as many disclaimers as I possibly can. Where it gets dangerous is with like your ethics and morals. And those are going to be things that are set on you as an individual. Now, I know that people have different ethics and morals compared to me, and will do things differently than I do them on my channel. I am by no means rolling in a ton of money. I have not done coin pump and dumps, even though as tempting as they are. I have not taken the huge payments for coin reviews, because we don't do coin reviews that are paid on this channel. And I do take sponsorships though, so for additional revenue, and some of those are from crypto companies. Your tolerance level for whatever that is going to be up to you, right? But like I said, some of the things that like I always watch out for, just because I am a content creator, I'm aware of like how it functions. I get the emails. Like I'll get the email for the coin that I know that another content creator is doing a review on, and I can see what they're doing with the pump and dumps. We've talked about this sort of thing before, but even as someone that maybe just talks about a coin and the technology, or just mining it and how much we make off of it, whatever it is, there is a point where my influence there can directly impact the coin. We can see that has happened in the past, especially the smaller the coin is. It can impact both price and difficulty. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. That's going to be the same with almost anything, though, within content creation. And we have a dead camera again. Yay. So the reason I want to address this is because it's twofold, right? What I want to do is be as transparent with you all as I possibly can, while also encouraging you guys to build other revenue streams for yourselves. It's very intentional to build another to use YouTube as a revenue stream. It's very intentional. Okay? And I would encourage you all to do the same. That's all. So let's go ahead and get back into more news. This one's fun. I kind of already leaked it to y'all. So rumored AMD RX 6000 series desktop series update might bring even faster memory. So this is pretty cool. As GPU miners, these things are awesome. And yeah, so the Elgato thing going dead, by the way, is because I just have to knock the camera back down to 1080. It's overheating. I'll get it sorted before tomorrow's show. Anyways, I was trying to record in 4K, but it doesn't always work. All right. According to leaker Greymon55, AMD might be preparing a new version of its RX 6000 desktop series. At CES 2022, the company updated its mobile portfolio by introducing its first 6nm entry-level cards. even faster Navi 22 modes with higher TGP, and a response to the Nvidia Max-Q series. The power-limited Radeon RX 6000S series for AMD, which has had a limited presence in the laptop GPU market. Such an update was definitely impressive, but also very confusing because it introduced two entirely new product sub-series within the already existing lineup. According to this new rumor, the same could happen with the RX 6000 series, where one could expect a 6nm refresh of some Navi 2X GPU and possibly higher wattage models, as well as cards with increased memory speed. Greymon55 does not have any details yet, but the memory speed upgrade appears to be to make the most sense, considering AMD already offers cards with 18 gigabits per second. So the tweet is, AMD seems to be preparing a new version of the RX 6000 series. Doesn't know the details, but probably an upgrade, or maybe an upgrade to 18 gigabits per second. Which ones do these really impact, like, overall? I think it impacts almost all of the GPUs except for some high-end 6900 cards. And then, of course, the new launch of the 6500 XT. So this could mean a lot, especially on like the RX 6600, 6600 XT, across the entire board. As far as for mining, what we could see is a slight bump in, of course, the mining capabilities on traditional algorithms, right? So Ethereum, etc. And we'll have to see what happens, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I want to share it with you guys. There is more Radeon news as well. Which one was this one? Yeah, so this is one that I wanted to point out because it might be interesting, especially if we're considering mining with this at all. Now, the 6500 XT, as we talked about, kind of isn't going to be great in most traditional GPU mining rigs, right? Like, we aren't going to be using it to mine Ethereum. It doesn't have enough video memory. It's probably not going to perform well on memory intensive algorithms. However, it may do well on some of the outliers, such as Toncoin right now, which is super heavy on clock speed. But you want to be careful, because traditionally how you build a mining rig is throwing a whole bunch of things on a single motherboard, and to do that you're usually turning down the generation of the PCI slot and what it's operating at, whether that be Gen 1 or Gen 2, and typically not even running Gen 3 on these. Well, in the case of this particular one, which is going to be the 6500 XT, they do have a typo here in the article though, is something interesting. So the 6500 XT 4GB tested on PCI Gen 4 by 8 is 49% faster on average compared to Gen 3. So apparently Hardware Unboxed is investigating a potential problem with it, and we'll get more information on it. But as we reported earlier, the Radeon RX 6500 XT graphics card will feature a limited PCI Express interface to 4 lanes. The card is based on the 4th generation of PCI Express, which means that 4 lanes should provide just as much bandwidth as 8 lanes on Gen 3. Do you guys start to see the problem here though, right? So this might not immediately appear as an issue. However, for budget GPUs such as the 6500 XT, chances are that many users considering this card may still feature PCI Gen 3 systems. This is also a problem for mining because most of the mining motherboards are PCIe Gen 3 systems. And if you're going to be trying to find a specific coin that basically would take advantage of the core clock, as you know, you're probably going to actually need the faster PCI lanes. And that's because, well, core clock will directly translate into that. So it should be noted that Hardware Unboxed is not allowed to post their 6500 XT testing results yet due to the review embargo, but they used a previous gen model such as the 5500 XT to see if there's any performance bottleneck on the upcoming Gen 3 interface. As noted by the reviewer, bandwidth issues are more likely to be expected on 4GB cards rather than 8GB, simply because some resources will be stored in the video memory rather than being constantly pulled from the system or storage. Okay, interesting. The 5500 XT was available in 2 variants, featuring either 4 or 8 gigabytes of memory, which makes it perfect candidate for this type of test. So they were testing this specifically. It wasn't a typo, specifically on the 5500 XT. I'm presuming they have access to the 6500 XT as well, and maybe already experienced this problem, and that's why they're bringing this up. We'll have to see. But obviously, it's going to be an issue throwing it into mining rigs in general. Possibly, right? So that's kind of where we're at. AMD is teasing new Radeon Pro graphics cards as well, guys. The Pro W6400 is set to release on January 19th, so mark your calendars if you want to pick one up. The official AMD Radeon Pro Twitter account is teasing the upcoming announcement, or sorry, I guess the announcement will be on the 19th. Yeah, mark your calendars. For their workstation graphics cards. The teaser features a crown fitted with blue gemstones, either sapphire, tanzanite, or kyanite. It shows a new king of its class. Sadly, it's not the performance king. As we all have independently learned, this announcement is for the upcoming Navi model called the Radeon Pro W6400. It is not a high-end card, but a budget workstation model based on Navi 24 GPU, so the least powerful member of the RDNA 2 family. The card will challenge the Nvidia T600 Turing GPU, considered to be an entry-level workstation card for 2D modeling, video editing, and so on. Not much of a 3D rendering workhorse. Of course, we expect more details to be available shortly before the announcement, so stay tuned. And here's the source. I'm definitely marking it on my calendar. Hopefully we get more information. I believe that's going to be on Wednesday. So I'm trying to remember if Radeon was it 6800 or something? I don't know what it would be called. Because they're still on GDDR6 with these, right? Yeah. So, probably nothing super exciting, unfortunately. Sitting back down. I had to move around to get the camera to turn back on. It'll probably overheat here again in a little bit, but that'll be okay. We'll work through it. Let's talk about mining profitability. I've moved a lot of rigs around lately, so we only have 11 rigs out of the, I think like 16 or something that we run. They're currently still on the flex pool mining away. It's at like what, 4.7 gigahash a second, 24-hour average, which is netting about $238 a day in 0.0739 ETH. And obviously ETH is down quite hard, so this is kind of where we're at. I expect it to get worse through tax season. March will get really worse. April. That's kind of how I'm feeling. So as long as you can kind of survive through that, or we survive through that, I think that we'll be good. That would be what I would assume to be the worst of the worst, hopefully. But let's go ahead and take a look at Flux. We took Flux off of solo mining so that I can actually generate some revenue on here. And we currently have a 24-hour average on Flux of 541 solutions a second. That is basically two 2080 Ti's, two 3080 Ti's, two 3060s, and one 3070 Ti. That is generating estimated 5.5 coins per day, which is $13.01 a day. Not too good. Right now, it's probably better to move all of these rigs back to Ethereum, essentially. So what ended up happening, let's see if we can pop over to here, was, I don't know why it does it that way. See if we can expand this out. Well, there are sharp increases, but it's, let's see, can we, weak. Burr, 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 burr. looks like they're dumping back off and on all over the place. No big trend here. Hash is coming back down. Okay. Well, that's good news. Sorta. But it doesn't look like that is, at least for me, being interpreted back into profitability yet. Anyways, we moved over to pool mining. And then we have essentially our open network running as well. That's doing really well. I'm trying to figure out, I wish I could show you guys easier. But essentially, we're doing about 15 ton a day with 2 rigs, maybe a little more. But I don't really have a good way to show that because I don't want to show my Telegram. Too many people already have this Telegram, and it's annoying when they message it because it's supposed to be just for mining. So I'm going to leave that. Alex, I did not get the block. I don't know who got it. If I got it, I wouldn't be streaming it. No, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm out, boys. I'm going to the Cayman Islands. I'll see you in the next life. Peace. I'm out. Yes, they do parallel assets as well, Payne. On the pool? Yes. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and talk about what to mine profits for the 3090. As always, calculate that out. On Ethereum, it's $5.50 a day after 10 cents a kilowatt hour. Cero, Ycash, Rio, Equilibria, and Zero all come in down below there. Conflux dropping down pretty far. Cortex even further. Flux way down. All right, so the only savior of Flux as we know it has been the RTX 2080 Ti. So let's go ahead and check it out and see if it's maintaining profitability on Flux. I kind of doubt it, but let's go ahead and look. 280. Yeah, so Ethereum's at 261 a day after power. Looks like Flux is all the way down below Swap and Cero now at $1.99 a day after power. And that's on the 2080 Ti, which historically has been more profitable on Flux. So Flux is kind of in a weird spot right now, unfortunately. And even though the hash rate is going down, the difficulty is kind of still spiked up there. There was a dip off. I don't know if What to Mine's catching the correction on that yet, but Flux is rough. So there you go. Let's go ahead and take a look at mining pool profits. Well, I should have done that. It's fine. It's fine. TON is still profitable right now. Just is. Last 90 days, Mining Pool Hub in first, Flex Pool in second, Crazy Pool in third. Last 60 days, Mining Pool Hub in first, Flex Pool in second, Crazy Pool in third. Last 30 days, Crazy Pool in first with Mining Pool Hub in second, Flex Pool in third. Last 21 days, Mining Pool Hub in first, ZET in second, and Flex Pool in third. Last 14 days, Mining Pool Hub in first, ZET in second, and Flex Pool in third. Last 7 days, Flex Pool in first with 2 miners in second and Nano Pool in third. Last 3 days, 2 miners in first, Flex Pool in second, and Ethermine in third. And for the last day, Nano Pool in first with Ethermine in second and Mining Pool Hub in third. So there you go as far as all of that is concerned. If we took a look at profitable ASIC miners, yeah, still the KD6. Antminer E9, they say, is coming soon. Super profitable right now. But KD6, 164. It's down in profitability pretty hard from 200 on Friday to 164 a day. Silicon A11, which is going to be Ethereum, is in second. 2100 megahash, making $115 a day. Gold shell, that's actually interesting. So Ethereum beat out the KD5 as well. Did Cadena have a pretty big drop in profit or in price? $111 a day on the KD5. Antminer L7 still sitting at that $84 a day. No problem there. And your most profitable Antminer or your Bitcoin miner is the S19 Pro that's out. We already covered the S19 XP stats previously. They're all sold out, unfortunately, so can't get a hold of one, but they're pretty cool. And then apparently there's new news that we need to cover today. All right. Okay. Fun. I'm actually curious because I have some funds in crypto.com and this would kind of be a bummer, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. We have an alert. Where is this coming from? Finbold.com. Four hours ago, Singapore-based cryptocurrency platform Crypto.com has announced the temporary suspension of withdrawals, citing suspicious activity affecting its customers. The platform announced development on Twitter. Here we go. Here it is, Crypto.com. We have a small number of users reporting suspicious activity on their accounts. We will be pausing withdrawals shortly as our team is investigating. All funds are safe. Okay. And let's see where we're at over here, if there's anything new. All right. One of two. Earlier today, a small number of users experienced unauthorized activity in their accounts. All funds are safe. An abundance of caution, security on all accounts is being enhanced, requiring users to sign back into their app exchange accounts and reset their two-factor. To me, just this isn't like maybe we'll find out crypto.com messed something up here and maybe that happens. But to me, this sounds like individuals that are not protecting their personal financial information good enough. That's what it seems like on the face. 2 of 2, this update will be rolled out to users progressively over the next few hours. Once complete, withdrawals will be re-enabled. We understand this may be an inconvenience, but security comes first. Thank you for your support. All right, so as always, here's where we're going to go. Here's where we're going to go with this. Do you guys already know what I'm going to say? I feel like you already know what I'm going to say. You already know what I'm going to say, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. If you participate within centralized exchange, you should not keep a majority of your cryptocurrency within a centralized exchange. You can send it there to cash out. You can send it there if you want to invest specifically in that platform. But you do not hold a majority of that in a centralized exchange. This is something when I started the sponsorship with crypto.com that they knew that I would talk about a lot. And in the case of anything that may have happened with them, that this is how I would respond. So they're fully aware of it. They support the messaging as well. This goes for any centralized exchange, not your keys, not your crypto. Stay safe, be careful. The best way to be careful is to control your own keys. The thing about that, there's a ton of people that get upset. They're like, well, what if I lose the keys? What if I blah, blah, blah? With great power comes great responsibility. What's the great power? And this is the point that everybody seems to get being missed in cryptocurrency lately. The great power is personal financial responsibility without the interference of a third party. That's the great power. And that great power requires great responsibility. And that responsibility is controlling your own keys. And that's it at the end of the day. That's all you can really do. So quite a few are saying that they had 2FA enabled, etc. Yeah, I don't know as far as all the complaints go. I'll check my account out and see what they say. And then we'll kind of go from there. Wondering how they got past 2FA. Yeah, you're saying on this screenshot right here. You messaged him about hours ago, 4.28. Who holds 4 ETH? I just don't know. Why are you holding $20,000 in a centralized exchange? I guess that's $12,000 now, but someone lost all their Doge and Shiba Inu, used Binance and Coinbase. Now even the Coinbase got hacked. That's something different. Look, if you're losing all your money and you're losing it on multiple platforms, bro, come on. That I wouldn't worry about that one. My wallet was also hacked some days ago. 700 USDC and 1,000 DAI are going out without any 2FA. And then someone said that their wallet was hacked, 0.27 Bitcoin withdrawals 7 times in the account. What is going on? So that's where we're at with it, I guess. Let's get into questions and answers, boys. For some people, 4 ETH is small money. Well, if it's small money, then it's small. Okay, we'll go back to this. Like, if it's like the amount you're willing to lose in a public exchange, then that's also, I mean, I'm just so used to this in crypto, I guess. Maybe I'm desensitized. Until we get more information, I'll message Nino and see what he says too. And Nino's my rep over there. And get more info, but I don't know. It is weird if they have 2FA enabled. What's wrong with 2FA that's allowing it to go out? My question would be, are they using a 2-factor authentication that's on their cell phone as opposed to using hardware 2-factor? I don't know. Or is it an inside job? And they need to find somebody that's inside, doing the inside thing. You know what I mean? All right. Let's go ahead and get into questions and answers. Questions will be answered in the order of course, super chats. If you feel I make too much money and it just upsets you that I get a super chat, I understand. I also don't expect a super chat and that whole thing. But this is what I do for a living, and it's another revenue stream. We already kind of went over that. Other than that, if you just do @SonOfATech, it makes it orange. It makes it easier for me to read. That's really the reasoning why it goes in those orders. Super chat's easy to read. It's even easier to read the orange. That's why. All right. So there we go. Let's get into it. Draketh asks thoughts on Cero. I still don't have thoughts on Cero. I still do not have thoughts on Cero. I guess we could try to look into it. Let's just do it real quick. We'll click in. Let's go. Let's go look. World's first truly private privacy protection platform for decentralized apps. White paper. The whole privacy thing is, I feel like everybody tried to do the privacy thing. I want to know then, how long has it been around? Who are their partners? Hyperpay, Gate.io, F2 Pool, Miner OS, B Store, Quantum Investment Fund, and LD Capital. Let's see if there's anything going on in the news with them. Nothing since 2020. That's a little concerning. And April 26th or April 30th was the last post on their official website. Do they have a Twitter? Is Twitter active? Their pinned tweet is from 2018, but they do have a post from November 28th, 2021, which is talking about Cero 2.0. But UTXO, it's all the same keywords that were being used in 2018. Thoughts on Cero are this. It was a previous bull run launch that has continued some development, however, very sparse. The increase in price does not seem to be directly related to anything within the technology. As you can see, the last blog post was in April of 2020. It looks like they haven't even really kept their Twitter up to date that much either. This feels like a bull run cash grab using keywords like privacy, etc. to run off of that. Unfortunately for them, the bull run keywords today are going to be more along the lines of Web 3.0, Metaverse, and NFT. So the project is outdated as far as that goes. If they continued development and came out, well, continue to work on things, things could always change. As of right now, I have a low confidence in Cero. Is that fair enough? Kinlar says, hey, son of a tech, did you ever hear anything about several hour-long outages at Whales Ton Pool? Ton profitability still looking good, but the pool's making it hard. Interesting. No, because I've been okay. I made 15 Ton yesterday. I'm making like 15 a day right now. Martin says, at Son of a Tech, which is the best hardware wallet you recommend? I use the Trezor. No KYC. Full Metal Potato said, awesome show as always. Son of a Tech managed to catch this one. Most days now you start around 2 a.m. Okay. You start work at 2 a.m.? Dang. Or the stream starts at 2 a.m. Andreas 11G says, ask Son of a Tech for some people for we already responded to that. All right. Let's get further down. HosaTube says, at Son of a Tech, how can I find new coins to mine, like coins that are not on any exchanges yet? Crypto Twitter? Really? Like, follow, I think, Mean Hash, Chrissy, or just follow me and I'll try to retweet them. That's where you're going to, like, usually start finding, like, these types of coins. If you're looking for those hedge bets. Hasa says, what do you think about expanse mining? I don't know anything. I would have to look it up. Sorry. Kinlar says, as Son of a Tech, are you using Whales Ton Pool? I am using Whales Ton because Ton Pool, when I did it, got hacked. Andrew Wade says, at Son of a Tech, why not just use paper wallets? Paper wallets are great. Yes. It depends. So there are like basically 3 types of wallets. And they all have their benefits and upsides and downsides, right? One's going to be your hot wallet. Constantly active, constantly connected to the internet, ready to go, spend money. The next one's what I call like a warm wallet, right? And a warm wallet is what would be like a hardware wallet, which is like basically something that's not always connected to the internet, but you can connect it and access the funds relatively easily. And having the hardware portion of that just makes it a little bit more protected, kind of like a hardware 2-factor authentication. Then, of course, there's the fully cold wallet. Now, on a full cold wallet, you should be basically generating the Bitcoin key with a Bitcoin key generator off of the internet completely, writing that down on some sort of fireproof, waterproof piece of material. The etchers are really good, or there's the slide-in card ones. And that's what you put in for your long-term hold that you never touch, that nobody can, that you never connect to the internet ever, period, end of story, until you're ready to pull all of those funds out. And once you do utilize that wallet at all, you need to regenerate one that's never touched the internet again as well. So there are basically just those 3 different levels that you need to consider. I guess we could go with a centralized exchange wallet that you don't control your keys on as like the worst option that you could have, but there is that as well. Now, what happened, that makes these things a little bit more difficult for controlling your own keys is all surrounding Ethereum. This is why I also don't like holding Ethereum, because holding Ethereum on layer 1 is extremely expensive. So to control your keys and hold your Ethereum, you either just hold it and never spend it, or you need it to go directly to an exchange to swap it out for something that's not exorbitant in fees. Pretty much. Tactics asks, what do you do when the Trezor drive dies? I treat them just like, I haven't had that happen, first of all, but I treat them exactly like I treat the YubiKeys, which is you have 2 of them and you put the same wallet on 2 of them. And then in addition to that, you still write down the keys to those. You still have private keys. You still write those down and you put them in a safe. And when it dies, you just recover the wallet. It's not hard. Pretty easy. All right. Swift says, at Simon Tech, what are your thoughts on the Exodus wallet? I don't use it enough at all to comment. Though, like, it's also really hard because, yes, I've used it, but I've used so many different wallets and done so many different guides and so on that, like, what I guess I could say that, like, what I use on the daily is like MetaMask in Yori. And then from there, just random exchanges, crypto.com, stuff like that. Aggregator Visual says, Ask Tech, did you see that they did 1,000-person airdrop in one transaction on Ergo? I saw that they were doing an airdrop. I didn't see how many people it was, but that's pretty cool. Ethical GG says, Ask Tech, update on Ravencoin. I guess we didn't look at the Ravencoin, did we? Statistics. I mean, I know profitability is still low. And hash rates dropped to 5 terahash a second. Its highest was close to like 10 a little bit before this. So it's definitely taken a hit on amount of people, the amount of people participating within it. Price is down to 9 cents. Like I said, I would expect it to be around 13 cents, just based off of what people were selling it at directly prior to the halving. All right, boys. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu unless you have any more information or questions last minute. Seven figures in MetaMask would be a little wild, wouldn't it? Anna K says, hey, so what are your thoughts on mining on FE? The Founders Editions? They're fine. They require the little adapter for the 12 pin, which kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Bearded Bullets, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, way back in 2013, I was mining LTC with my crappy PC. I moved back home and let my buddies talk me out of sinking my last bit of cash at the time to buy an ASIC. Kick yourself every day. It's okay. You just keep moving. You wake up the next day and you try again. That's it. That's all you got to do, man. Wake up the next day and try again. Thanks for watching, everybody.